What's going on, everybody? I am back. It's been a hot minute since I've been here with you guys, and honestly, the censorship has really gotten under my skin. It's unbelievable that this is going on in this country. It's just a complete sham and a disaster. Give me a second here, guys. I'm going to invite a few people and do what I got to do. Guys, do me a favor. Just press the share button on the bottom. I really appreciate that. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. And, you know, there is so much that I need to discuss and so many things going on, and it's like we're living in a fairy tale where things are just not going to snap back to reality. And I don't get it. I don't understand where the pro-America people are. I don't get it. It seems like the only pro-America person that we had was President Trump, and he's gone. And you know what? I don't want this live to be about President Trump. It's just not. This got nothing to do with Trump anymore. We have so many more problems than than President Trump. You know, CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and all of them might want to concentrate on President Trump because it'll kick up their ratings, and otherwise, what are they going to report on? Jen Psaki, this new, the communications person who circles back every 30 seconds, or Joe Biden, who has been in office since January 20th, and he has already taken days off. Just took off this entire 3-day weekend and went to Camp David. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Trump went to Camp David inside the first month of his time in office? Can you imagine if President Trump signed 40 freaking executive orders? The hypocrisy is ridiculous. It's out of control. I mean, and these idiots on TV with their 6- and 7-figure salaries, they're just not going to talk about it. They're going to protect their neck. They're going to protect their salaries. They're going to protect themselves. Not one of these animals cares about the well-being of this country. And I hate to say this, folks, but we are on our own. We're on our own. It's very, very sad about what's going on, but we have no help at all. So let's get the obvious out of the way, right? So obviously, President Trump was acquitted. We knew from the beginning he was going to be acquitted. Obviously, all the Democrats vote down party lines, and we had 7 traitors on the Republican side, and it's enough. Enough with the Democrats and the Republicans. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. They are both decrepit, disgusting wings of the same bird, and they all need to be taken out. And take that any way you want to. I'm tired of this fake woke generation and this hate speech generation. Disgusting. Disgusting cowards, all of them. All the liberals, all of them. And if I offend any of you, I don't care. Don't watch me. So first thing that happens during this complete sham of an impeachment was that opening arguments were made, and then they had to decide whether the impeachment had the constitutionality to move forward. And they voted that it was constitutional, where nothing about this impeachment was constitutional. Nothing. Not a damn thing. But yet, they voted that it was constitutional. Okay. They're impeaching a president that's no longer sitting in office to keep the attention off of the one that is in office. So the first hint that this was complete BS is when Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, the biggest libtard in the Supreme Court, refused to preside over this impeachment. That should have been a hit and a half for all of the liberals. But nobody cares. All they wanted was a complete and utter BS of finding President Trump guilty. That's all they want. They want to hang him high. They want to hang him often. And you know what? I've come to the understanding that the people that are anti-Trump and anti-American it's a small fraction of people, but they get the big stage because they're backed up by the liberal media. And when I say liberal media, don't get it twisted. So yeah, CNN, MSNBC, please sprinkle Fox in. I don't care if you sprinkle Newsmax in, because they are all now being held onto by the balls, and they're being told, don't even mention election fraud. And the only ones that have any kind of a sack to bring up election fraud is One America News, which nobody watches anyway. So what's the point? Absolutely no point. So a couple of days go by, 16 hours here, 16 hours there. The prosecution on the impeachment completely doctored the evidence. They took portions. They did an edit job. And it wouldn't be accepted. Their evidence would not be accepted in any courtroom. I don't care if it's in New York, to California, to Seattle, to Miami. No courtroom worth its salt would accept any of this bullshit evidence that the prosecution claimed to have. Then, on the last day, we get it. Prosecution's going to be calling witnesses. And then, skirt, brakes were pumped, because if the prosecution in an impeachment calls witnesses, then the defense has the right to subpoena any witness they want. So the prosecution thought about that a little bit like, oh, damn. People might realize that we're full of shit if any of us get brought on the stand. But what do they care? They lie under oath anyway. The Constitution doesn't matter. Swearing on the Bible doesn't matter. What did we learn over the last 3 months? What did we learn? We learned that the Constitution means shit in this country. It means nothing, because the people that swore to protect and defend the Constitution and the freedom of the United States have done jack shit to do so. Nobody is protecting us. We are on our own with this half-dead Weekend at Bernie's president that we have in the office. It's a disaster. It's a disaster what's going on. Then we got this other mutt in New York, Andrew Cuomo. His own assistant, DeRosa, was on a conference call, on a Zoom thing with all of the big shot Democrats in New York, and she was very clear that they covered up about 50% of the actual deaths in the nursing homes. If you guys, I know a lot of you have been watching what I do from the very beginning, but I went back to, I think it was August or September when it first started coming out that Cuomo basically murdered 12,000 elderly. I said back then, I guarantee you the numbers are probably twice as high, because nothing that comes out of the left is honest. Lo and behold, we're 4 or 5 months later? And I hate to say it, I really hate to say it, but I was 100% right about that. And it's got nothing to do that I knew what was going to happen or that I'm smart and I figured it out. It's the Democrats. They don't tell the truth. And I don't care if you're a Democrat supporter. If you're a Democrat supporter and you're okay with what's going on in this country, get off of my live right now. You're not wanted, you're not needed, you're not welcome here. Go into your backyard and stick your head in the sand, because that's where it belongs and that's where it's been for the last few years. The Trump derangement syndrome has eaten away the common sense core of everybody's brain. People can't even figure out that on January 19th of this year, I'll give you an example, January of 19th of this year, the day before Half Dead Joe was inaugurated, I was paying $2.79, right about there, for premium 93 gas. Today, It was $3 and I believe $3.40. And still, John Kerry comes out and says the job loss and the raising of the gas prices, it's not Biden's fault. He was directly responsible for 11,000 people losing their jobs the day he signed that executive order to stop the Keystone Pipeline. 11,000 people. Now, this is what the news channels aren't telling you, and I include Newsmax and Fox in that. Let's go a little step further, right? So that same oil that was supposed to be transported through the Keystone Pipeline, it still needs to get to where it's got to go. Whether it's Canada, whether it's down south, whether it's on the West Coast, how's it going to get there? Now it's got to be trucks, trains, more emission-having vehicles, right? Right. Next, your Uber, your trucks that deliver the groceries to your store, your bus that you take to work or to school, your train that you take to work or to school. Everything depends on oil. Everything is going to go up because of this Keystone Pipeline. It's not just the gas prices. Yes, the gas prices, but they're going to affect every industry, and it's going to be a domino effect. And what's going to happen is it's going to lead to inflation. And nobody's talking about that. Yet another thing nobody's talking about, because all we're supposed to do is sit there and keep eating the spoonfuls of bullshit that we're fed. Sorry, not going to happen here. Not going to happen. So let me circle back to Andrew Cuomo. This piece of shit, and I'm sorry, but that's what he is. And if you're offended by my mouth, again, get off. Doesn't matter. Andrew Cuomo literally made his health department, his assistants, everybody cover up for him. Everybody cover up for him. This man should be ripped out of office today and put into prison immediately, because it was his mandates that caused the death of not 12,000 elderly, but at a minimum 20,000, possibly even 30,000 elderly people. The real numbers aren't going to be known, if ever, for a very long time. For a very long time. And he has the audacity to come on today, and somebody asked him about this. He actually had a press conference today still talking about COVID. And he had the audacity to say, whatever happened with that, meaning his assistant and all the rest, is political. Andrew, Fredo Square. Chris is no longer Fredo. Andrew is now Fredo number 1, and then we got Fredo number 2. Andrew, kindly go on TV, resign, then go into a bathroom, grab that 9mm you have in your desk, put it in your mouth, and pull the trigger, because you're not needed. I'm so done with all of these evil bastards that I literally don't care what happens to any of them. I just don't. This is beyond politics. This is beyond politics. This is now affecting every facet of our life. Every facet of our life. Now, Biden is saying he's going to go after our guns, Second Amendment. People are saying, oh, no, he's not going to do that during the campaign. Every single campaign promise that he made, everything that he said, I won't stop fracking. Kamala Harris says Joe Biden will not stop fracking. On day one, he signs the Keystone Pipeline nonsense. Then, let me continue with Andrew Cuomo. I want to circle back. I love that term, and I'm going to use it tongue-in-cheek because it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But Andrew Cuomo, if you guys remember, a few months back, enacted the no cash bail nonsense. Lucy says the pipeline went to Iran or something. No, they promoted a pipeline in Pakistan. They gave Pakistan money to continue their pipeline, but shut ours down. Lucy, it's just like we were told during the campaign. America last. America does not matter to Biden. It does not matter to Joe Biden. He does not care about this country. He hasn't cared in 48 years. What makes you think the next 4 are going to be okay? Good God. So back to Cuomo. He enacted this, he signed this no cash bail nonsense. months ago, almost a year ago. I don't even know how long ago. And there was this one guy, I don't even know what to call him. He has been arrested numerous times over the last couple of years. He's been released, he's been ROR'd. If you guys don't know what that means, it's released on your own recognizance, no bail, several times. Then he kneecapped his dad and hit him in the head with a baseball bat. And that last time the bail was like $3,000 and his dad bonded him out. If anybody knows anything about arrest, a $3,000 bond, you could put 10% on that if you get a bondsman. Easy to get this moron out of jail. So now, this guy, Rigoberto Lopez, 21 years old, has been out of jail, kills 2 women, and there's 2 more that are in critical condition, all because Cuomo and this bullshit no cash bail. So they want to release these savages from prison, from jail, after they get arrested because they are in the wrong, I don't know what they even want to call it. They're a minority, so they're poor and they can't afford the bail. Don't do the crime, you won't get arrested, you won't need bail money. So now, because I can't even tell you how many people, because of this no cash bail law that Cuomo has enacted, I can't even tell you how many people have been affected, hurt, killed, policemen, regular citizens, women, men, elderly. There are literally victims everywhere, all because of Cuomo and de Blasio. What's up, Jacob? Yeah, it's been a hot minute. I came out of Facebook jail a little less than a week ago, and I wanted to come on at the end of last week, but I needed to get my stuff in order. By the way, join me tomorrow. All my people in Staten Island, join me tomorrow. I have Leticia Romaro coming on with me. She's running for the borough president of Staten Island. And she is going to have a lot to say, and I'm really looking forward to having her on. Later this week, I got Ed Renzi coming on with me from Fox Business. I got Jerry Wells in the political arena here in Florida. He's going to come on with me. I got a bunch of people coming on with me in the next couple of weeks, and there are expansions planned for what I'm doing because, honestly, Facebook is going to keep putting me in jail. And they don't like what I have to say, and I really don't care because I'm going to keep saying it as long as I could come here and say it. And pretty soon there's going to be another platform for you guys to go to. And if your sensibilities aren't dulled or delicate because of all these safe spaces and these homophobic and these racist words, you can't say anything, by the way, without being homophobic or racist anymore. I can't just hate somebody. I can't just dislike somebody, because if I dislike somebody and he happens to be gay, then I'm a homophobe. And if I dislike somebody who happens to not be white, then I am a racist. This is what these idiots are talking about. This is how they decide who they can accuse of what. You know, I've tried to keep my emotions in check while doing this. I've tried time and time again I try to listen and absorb what these people are talking about. These Black Lives Matter and Antifa, and come on. I was on a radio this morning on WABC radio with Bernie and Sid in the morning, and I said to Sid, I said, listen, I said the Democrats straight up used BLM and Antifa like a prostitute, like a straight up hooker, gave them money for what they needed, and sent them packing when they got what they wanted. Now, BLM and Antifa can't even get a meeting. So what did they do last week? They go in New York and just spark up a riot on a regular day, like on a Thursday night. You kidding me? And nothing gets done about this. And if I were the New York cops, I wouldn't do a damn thing until that entire administration from Albany all the way down to City Hall in New York City is dragged out, put in handcuffs, and we never have to see their disgusting faces again. Back to this Rigoberto Lopez, right? The guy that killed a couple of women and injured a few more. They say he's an EDP, an emotionally disturbed person, right? Okay. Hey, Charlene McRae, Mayor de Blasio's lovely, lovely bride, who we're still looking for the $1 billion that you got for that Thrive program to help the homeless, to help people that are emotionally disturbed. A, where's Charlene McRae? B, where's the $1 billion? Not accounted for. And yet still nothing gets done. These psychopaths are running around and damn near hacking off a woman's head on the A train. Growing up in New York, I've been on every train 100 times, each, if not thousands. I mean, even in the Dinkins days, if you guys, my New Yorkers here, if you guys remember, in the David Dinkins days in the early 90s, I was still in my early teens, and it was still safer to take the train back then. And back then, there was like 2,500 murders a year on the Dinkins. He was phenomenal compared to de Blasio. I would take David Dinkins, God rest his soul, in a second over de Blasio. Or what's his name? Wilhelm, whatever. Oh, God. Mark Cuban. Let's talk about this idiot. Mark Cuban comes out last week and says, I'm not playing the anthem before Mavericks games anymore. Adam Silver, who was the commissioner of the NBA, said, oh, pump the brakes on that. Adam Silver is a businessman first and the commissioner second. He saw what all this Black Lives Matter fuckery caused. The viewership in the NBA was non-existent. Non-existent. Not in last year's finals, not in the finals before that. Completely non-existent. So Adam Silver sees this. He calls up Mark Cuban and says, no. He says, you're going to play the anthem because I'm the boss and that's the way it's going to be. Listen, I have a few friends in Texas and my friends right away said, I'm never watching another Mavericks game, nor am I going to one. I think any team that even talks about, forget about doing it, that even talks about not playing our anthem, first of all, the owner should be pulled out and that team should be sold to a different owner. If any owner of any sports team in this country talks about A, not playing the anthem, and B, allowing these mutts to kneel, they should be gone. They shouldn't be allowed to own a team, own any franchise ever again. Ever again. Let's go. A couple of more things I want to touch on real quick. AOC, this idiot. I don't know what to call these people anymore. I run out of words. Lucy says, agreed, respect our American culture. Austin says, F the NBA and the NFL. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the only thing they understand, and this goes for Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, the only thing they understand is when you kick them in the pockets. That's it. That's it. Lucy says, being a military family, we salute the flag no matter what. Absolutely. Absolutely. Military family or not, you live in this country, you should be thankful that you live in this country. Go live somewhere else. You millennials, you libtard millennials. If you don't like it here, do me a solid. Go to Venezuela. Kick it there for a little bit. Even go to Mexico. See how much more you like it. And not for a vacation. Don't go to Puerto Vallarta or Cancun. I want you to go to Stab in Mexico, not Resort Mexico. I want you to go to Cartel Mexico. Not freaking Acapulco, staying at the Fiesta Americana. None of that. I want you to go stay in a real neighborhood. And see how you like it. And see how you like it. And let me finish with these, the squad. First we had AOC, who basically all but accused of AOC and Josh Hawley of trying to murder her when she was allegedly in the Capitol building. And then we came to find out she wasn't even in the Capitol. She was in the Cannon building across the street where they keep their offices. So she lied about that. Then we have Rashida Tlaib, who gets on the podium on the floor of the House and starts crying because this situation so greatly affected her. She wasn't even in D.C. that day. Forget the building. She wasn't even in D.C. that day. Now, this is now the second and third liberal imbecile that has now faked the funk, blamed something on Trump people, blamed something on Republicans, blamed something on patriots, and it's been proven wrong. First, it was the Jussie Smollett nonsense, where 3 guys in MAGA hats attacked him. Sure. Just like guys in red MAGA hats burned down New York, Seattle, Portland, Atlanta. What else we got? LA, a bunch of cities. It was all, guys in MAGA hats, right? Listen, I think, and I'm going to finish off with this, I think that Democrats made a very, very big mistake by forcing this impeachment. I think they're going to pay for it, and I'm going to tell you why. If they can impeach President Trump for a few words that he didn't even say, well, we got hours of footage with Ayanna Pressley, AOC, Maxine Waters, Cory Booker, Nancy Pelosi, Rashida Tlaib, Adam Schiff, what's the other one? Nadler, Fat Nadler, the one who pooped in his pants on national TV, which is, I think, the greatest moment in TV history to this point. Every single one of them have broken the law and incited violence, all last summer. Kamala Harris, if you want to take it a step further, Senator Lindsey Graham said that if and when Republicans take over the House, which they will in 2022, it's going to be a landslide across the board. Every Democrat is going to lose because even the liberals are going to realize what the hell have they done to this country. It's going to take 2 short years. Don't even worry about it. But when the House takes over control, when the Republicans take control of the House, he all but assured that Kamala Harris is going to be impeached. And not for her words, but for her actions. If you guys remember, she set up a bail account for all of these Antifa and Black Lives Matter savages, some of which got out of jail, some of which went back out, caused more damage, hurt more people. So if that's not inciting violence, my man, I don't know what is. All right, we're going to end it off right there. I'm going to be on a lot more often now. Stay tuned. I'm going to let you guys know about what's going on. The more time goes by and the less censorship that I know that I'll have, and I know that I'll be more in control of my videos, which probably won't happen until the website is going, the more uncensored I'm going to be. And by that, I don't mean swear words and all of that. I'm going to say a lot of other things that will probably piss off a lot of people, but nobody else wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about. For instance, this fake woke culture that we got going on right now. Come on. These idiots on the left aren't woke. Well, they yell at you if you don't agree with them. That's not woke. That's called being a baby. It's not woke. It's all fake woke. So I will be calling all these people out, and I will continue to do so. What's today? Today is the, 15th? Yeah, the 15th. I expect to be back in Facebook jail probably after this video. But check out my other profile, Jerry the Patriot. If I haven't friend requested you yet, go over there, friend request me on that. That'll always be my backup. We'll see how long that keeps going. And eventually, I'm going to flip everything over to the website once we get it going in the way that we want it to go. But there's going to be a lot of developments because they're coming for not only our Second Amendment rights, they're coming for our First Amendment, they're coming for everything that makes us American. And we can't do it. We can't sit there and take it. Hey, Derek, what's going on, bud? You got here a little late, but check out the replay. It'll be on a loop, I promise you. All right, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow I will have Leticia Romaro on. It's going to be cool to hear about what this lady is planning to do as the candidate for Staten Island Borough President. I cannot wait to speak to her. I can't wait to hear her plans. It will be a can't miss thing if you guys live in Staten Island, even if you're in New York City, because I promise you, Staten Island Borough President is the first step for Leticia Romaro. I've heard her. She's no nonsense. She is no nonsense. She's not political. She just wants to get the job done. So join me tomorrow. I'm recording the interview about 4 o'clock. I'll post it right away. Expect to see it around 5. All right, guys, enjoy your evening. See you tomorrow. Later.